computer.
Or,
Okay, we're going to
And
then.
what about Matt? Is he coming?
I think so. Haven't heard that he isn't.
I have another meeting at 10:30, so
Okay.
just so you know, I have to leave on time.
Okay. Well, we normally finish within the hour.
Yeah. I can't remember what that other meeting is. I hope I wrote it. I didn't.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I wonder what it was.
that's what these iPhones are good for. Well, all the smartphones.
True. Let's see.
I'm going to call Matt.
Okay, good.
Oh, now I know what it was. And I can't miss it. I might get off 5 minutes early to get myself organized.
Well, and we may not necessarily use an hour too, so.
Exactly.
Okay. It's on my schedule now. I got a new dog. Actually, it's a new Windermere dog,
Oh, you did?
but she came to me
Oh,
Yeah,
from a woman in my gardening class, and she's a Great Pyrenees.
this is
She's,
the Great Pyrenees you talked about.
yes, and she's so
oh.
lovely. So I think she came like on Thursday,
Ah.
How's she
and
doing?
and she stayed in my house. And on Friday morning, she was completely my dog.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, really, the transformation was. It wasn't that she. I mean, I'm sure if Andrea comes over, she'll be her dog too. But
Yeah.
anyway, she's very bonded with me, and she's lovely.
And what's her name?
Amica, which is friend in Italian.
Oh, sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
You don't have a picture of her yet?
No, I don't have a picture of her. I could show her to you, but
Yes.
Well, she shows up.
if she
Introduce
shows up
us.
right now, she's outside. She usually hangs out by David and Ashley's, by where the kids are, and they're down in the garden now, so she might have gone down there.
Well, speaking of friends in Italian, look who showed up.
Hello.
Grazie, grazie. Buongiorno.
It sounds like the perfect person to send and call in the light for us.
I was thinking the same thing, but I thought we should have anybody who's late. It's the one who gets to call in the light. Of course, maybe that's going to make everybody want to be late. So
Yeah,
we
now
shouldn't
everyone's
do
going to want to
that.
be late.
Yeah, let's
Jeez.
not do that. That's not a good plan.
But I would be delighted to call him the light.
Fantastic.
Take it away.
It's all right. Father, Mother, God. Present to the light, to the love, to the gratitude of being together. And we just let go of anything that's transpired before or that will happen after, trusting that this light will transmute any negativity we don't need anymore and bring balance and a gathering of peacemakers. We are peacemakers. We know peace is present right now, and that it's a choice, and that we are making this choice, letting go of anything that's not peace, and that it begins inside of each one. So we are flowering, blossoming peace our day together, co-creating a beautiful gathering and miracles abounding. Berush Bishia.
Harish Vishan.
Uh,
Anai. You.
All right, you guys. You can get to heaven on your own time.
Speak for yourself, Andrew.
Maybe we're already there
Yeah, there you
Mm.
or here.
Mhm.
are. Uh-uh.
Well,
Well,
um,
I said that I would look into that seed.org outfit,
Mhm.
community gardens, and I did. In order to find more information, I had to register with them, which I did. And then I found out there wasn't any more information. So I emailed them. The fact of the matter is that I've worked out what I was going to tell you, which is basically I'm pretty good at doing what I say I'll do, but I
Mhm.
oftentimes wait until the last minute. So I was working on this in the last few hours, and oh, look at this. And so I emailed them, but it's East, there's 6 hours, they're 5 hours behind me, but it looks like this guy responded to me. He says, "Hello, Andrew. We're switching our grants and crowdfunding program to a new tech platform that will open a new application this summer. I don't have an exact date yet, but we'll keep you posted through our email list. Thanks for your interest, Roger." He's the president of the outfit.
Great.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So I've reported as much as I know.
Good
But
work,
I
Andrew.
did review that what information there was, and there was that one piece when they were talking about all of the different kinds of organizations they supported. One of them was a church, they said church organizations. So they want you
Yeah,
to be
I do remember
nonprofit.
that.
They also, and this was the possible fly in the ointment, and we can think about this. Two things. Number one, I registered with my name and my email, and I didn't put in any organization name or anything. That was optional. So we haven't disclosed ourselves as the new David had suggested we not do, or we do not disclose ourselves. Um, so there was that. And that's as much as my mind could handle in terms of retaining what I wanted to say. I just lost it. The good thing most of the time, except for, youngsters like Matthew, I'm in the company of peers who know exactly what I'm experiencing.
Something to look
Yeah.
forward to, Matthew.
Yes.
Oh, I already experienced it, and I just don't have a good excuse.
Oh,
So,
no.
so I
Ah,
just,
okay.
I just need a better excuse. That's all.
Mhm.
Ah,
Oh, we can create one for you, no problem.
Yeah, yeah.
well, this is my opinion, and that is that we're doing great. And one thing I know is this next coming up weekend, I don't know the length of time, but all of the service groups are going to have some time to talk about what we're doing.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and it'll probably be like 15 to 20 minutes per group. And I don't know how it will be set up in the weekend, but I think just saying honestly what we've been doing,
Mhm.
including,
Yeah.
I think probably the most important thing is sending the light.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I feel and knowing that you are just holding Windermere in the light, it's making a difference now.
Mm.
So not just now, but since you started. And so to me, that is a service project. And Andrew, all the research you're doing, it's like you're holding the focus. We're all holding the focus for if there's money to come forward by grants or donations. I just think there's so many ways that kind of support can come forward. And anyway,
So
Well,
I'm curious.
what feels true is that there's a portal for receiving open. And yeah, go ahead. Anybody can say whatever you want about that.
I'm just curious I mean, I love that you say that you feel there's a difference happening since we got together. I was just curious, and you've said a bit just then about how you experience the shift having taken place.
well, first, I'll just volunteer. She's got herself a French Pyrenees mountain dog.
There you go.
Matthew, I think you missed that there's a new four-legged critter at Windermere.
And in the fire, someone's house burnt down and the man died, and he has two, I don't know what they call them, miniature donkeys that are available.
Oh,
I just
wow.
want to make sure they don't bite.
Yeah.
And somebody came forward to buy our Longhorn cattle
Hey!
Yeah,
at a lower price, but you know what?
Well, you want
That's
to move
okay.
them along.
We're
Yeah.
going to say
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I know.
donkeys
Things are
can be donkeys may not be, your petable kind, but the
Yeah, I
miniature
think
ones
we have
might
to
be. I
check
don't
on
know.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I remembered what I wanted to say is that in the seed.org description, they repeatedly speak of community gardens.
This is definitely a community garden.
Yeah. Well, and so it depends on how they define that.
That's right.
In most cases, most of the examples, it's individuals having plots.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean by that
Yeah.
idea of a community garden? But
Yeah.
certainly Windermere is descriptive of a community garden. And to the extent that plans in the future are to open it more to the public, I think it would
Yeah.
definitely be eligible. And I wanted to say that as I looked at their literature a little bit more, one of the pluses is they have this fundraising drive, which is limited to 3 or 4 weeks, and you put all your pitch on their platform, but then you broadcast it among your community that we're having this fundraising drive, and this is the platform we're using. So please go there if you'd like to contribute donations. And then
Whoa, that's awesome.
yeah, and And then depending on what your donations are, they add money to that. And it's cool. They have, because I think it's a 3-week window. There's the group that gets the most money in the first week gets a $500 bonus.
Ah,
And the group that comes in number 2 gets a $400 bonus. And so they do that for the first 5, bringing it down each time. And then in the second week, the group that gets the biggest participation in the second week gets a prize. And then and there are 5 first time winners. And then in the final week, it's the same deal as the first week. In the final week, the group that gets the most donations in the final week, number 1 group that does that gets a $500 first place prize, a $400 second place prize, et cetera. So it's fun, and you can make more than. Plus, they're for every $1,000 you raise, they chip in $100. So
Wow.
yeah, so if you raise $5,000, you get $500 more dollars plus those other possibilities, and so all of that, and they've had remarkable success, and they are funding. When I went through the list, there were I think there were 400 plus participating community gardens this last year. And they listed all of them with links to a description of each one. And there must have been at least 5 in Africa, in Nigeria and Kenya and different places. Not too many others that I saw that were outside of the country, but they consider themselves worldwide, and they're ready, willing, and able to provide that for people. So it's all about and what I like about it, it's a leg up because it's really all about the individual applicants' fundraising ability among their own community.
right.
Right. And maybe we get to support some of them.
Well, yes, yeah. And and I was reading one place in Southern Ohio, a community. Actually, it was a Franciscan Ministries community garden, which made me look because I thought religious affiliation. It was very cool. They had something like 20% of their participants were from Bhutan,
Huh.
immigrants. Right?
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, unusual. Which was interesting because they had 47% of their participants were from other countries. And so they were learning gardening techniques that that people brought from their countries in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did I send you that video? Did I send you that video about the restorative gardens in India? That hour-long video?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was in another language, so when I tried to watch it, I was completely lost, but that's
Aw.
okay. But that's
Matthew.
Andrew, Matthew, do you have a way of getting subtitles that are read to you instead of the language that's spoken? Because that's how I had to watch it, just with subtitles.
right. Yeah, no, the subtitles are tricky. I don't have a way to do that except with a friend who wants to read them.
Got it. Well, I think
Yeah.
you live with a friend, don't you?
Sometimes.
That's tricky too.
Yeah, it depends.
I'm not
on
only talking about the one, I'm talking about
Yeah,
A house full.
a house full
house,
of friends.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I gotta ask because I got lost in the middle of this, but Andrew, are we still talking about the seed people
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
So do we need to wait for them to launch their new platform, or can we get
That's what
going if we get approval?
That's what he said is wait, apply, the new platform will be up and then it'll be open for application. Now it doesn't kick off till the middle of November, that 3-week period.
Oh, interesting. So near December, near Christmas time, which is probably the most lucrative time to do fundraising. Everybody
Right.
gives in that time of the year, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's just
true.
all the organizations come out. It's Giving Tuesday. to Christmas time. That's the
You
time
know,
to do it.
Matthew, I've never heard anybody refer to fundraising as lucrative. That's an interesting description.
I mean, what would you say? What would be the better word?
No, I'm just saying it's interesting. It's a different take on it. There's a
The most abundant. How about that? The most
Yeah.
abundant time to fundraise.
That's good.
All right.
Did
I
I
stand
answer that for
corrected.
you, Carol?
I was just, yeah, that answered it. And that gives us plenty of time to do get our approvals from whoever we need to, and start, amassing whatever it is we need to do to prepare to launch when they're ready to launch. If we get the approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's key, and I think we could. I think this is something that Mark could sign off on easily, and it's just a fundraiser, enhancement tool is what it is.
And it
So
sounds like a really fun way to do it. And I love
Yeah.
what Linda said about supporting other groups or other people.
Oh, that's what I wanted to mention about the Franciscans. They have they keep 3 plots just to raise food to give to charity.
Wow.
And
Wow,
they're
that's beautiful.
separate plots. They have,
that's neat.
yeah. It's a nice idea to be able to do that, and it's a nice plus, give a portion of your abundance, pass it on.
Yeah.
Now, don't say lucrative.
You can say that word.
And we
Just-
could do the same thing. We could have a day or a couple of days of the year, however that works with the seasons, the growing seasons, to have people come and pick up some vegetables of our surplus.
Yep. Yeah.
How
Or we
fun.
could deliver to a local food bank or a.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I was thinking of, and we could do that because getting people on the property would be wonderful.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. My mind goes to that our gardens is not so big, and what if 100 people want to
Well, they have to
How
make an appointment.
wonderful.
They have to make an appointment.
We would set up, the way they set up at banks, they have or at airlines, they've got a channel.
A
An aisle
kiosk.
goes this way, an aisle goes that way. You set that up for the garden.
Well, we're going to have fruit trees too. We're going to have various kinds of things growing.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
And this
I would
project
imagine.
seems like one that David would get behind,
Yeah.
specific to the garden.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be any more specific than that, and so
That's
it can
right.
be used for irrigation or fencing or what have you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like, we connected David Randall and Mark Lurie, and it didn't really go anywhere. So, but I think this Mark just kind of put a stop to it. He's just said, no, this isn't work. This isn't
What?
good
Regarding
Oh, okay.
regarding grants. But
Yeah, okay.
this is different. I mean, Windermere is essentially already fundraising, so this is nothing different
That's right.
than
and we're
what's already
fundraising
happening.
from our own community.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's not putting it out on an international.
Right.
And what was Mark's reason? Just to give us any information that would close the loop, in my mind.
I wasn't privy to the conversation, but David just said he wasn't really open to it.
So David went directly to Mark.
Yeah, Carrie connected them together. And Paul said, why don't you talk to Mark, and then they did. And that's as far as it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right.
It would be good to know why, just to help us learn what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Well,
I would let it be.
I'm going to let it go.
I mean, considering that David R. is new to the MSIA community.
Yeah.
And he kind of shows up with these skills, and then the next thing you know, he's been to Windermere, and he comes back to Mark, and starts talking grants, because that's my expertise. I can see Mark saying, "Well, yeah, let's just, put that on the shelf for a while."
Yeah.
And I think maybe within that context, we should, because we don't have anything specific really to come to him with yet.
Right.
I think it might be better to just come back to him when we really have this thing, 3 months from now or whenever, 4 months, and describe it. What do you think, Carol?
Sure, if you just want to guess about it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think
What are you
it's a guess, and it was just an avenue for information. It wasn't a plug to do anything different or to do anything. It was just being educated.
Mm.
That's all I was looking at. But if that doesn't feel right, and there's plenty of time to be educated, so it
Well,
doesn't have to happen right away.
yeah. That's my thought is we'll come back to him when we've got our ducks in a row, as they say, and say, this is what we'd like to do. It's
Yeah.
not fundraising per se, it's within our community, but it's using, the specialized folks that support community gardens.
Yeah.
And at that point, we could have a further conversation about grant writing in general and find out what his thinking is about that.
Okay. Okay.
See what. So I came late to the party and I heard Amika, and is that a cat? Is that a dog? Is
No,
that a
it's a Great Pyrenees dog that was
oh
given to me by someone in my gardening class that actually I only found out yesterday that she's actually a dog trainer.
oh
But
my
anyway,
God.
she's had Amika since she's 2 years old. So she's was at first on Andrea's ranch that she had with her husband, and then they divorced. So she's living in town with her father who needs some care. So there's and she just felt like Amika was not getting to fulfill her life purpose.
Oh,
Oh, sweet.
So she
that is so sweet.
was very happy to give her to me and to us at Windermere.
Wow.
And she's a perfect fit, Matthew.
Oh, I
She's
bet.
lovely. She's lovely. But mostly she stayed overnight at my house. So basically she seems like my dog.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
really?
she
So
bonded
she's
with me overnight,
so you're
even though
the
she was
main.
in her cage and I was in my bed.
Oh. Where is her cage? Is it in your house?
It's just in my house
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And how old is she?
too.
Okay, great.
And does she need a cage? I don't know how
She
to bring up
doesn't, but
dogs.
I don't feel like having her walking around sleeping, and she's used to it. So, and it's not a cage; it's just a little fenced area with her mat in it and some water. So, she's good.
Oftentimes in dog training now, these enclosures, they present it as, the dog's den, if you will,
Right.
Yeah.
their space. And oftentimes a dog will go into it when he's
Yeah.
tired and wants to be alone,
Mhm.
that sort of thing.
She likes it. She
Yeah.
hardly wakes up in the night or makes any noise, or sometimes I hear her lapping water, but maybe once in the night. So it's working out.
Great.
What a
And then-
sweet addition. How lovely.
And then
Yeah,
does she just kind of wander the property then during the
She
day?
does.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to continue her training.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to take a lesson with Andrea so that I can learn everything that Amika knows and how she
That's really a good idea.
Well,
So
and it's a good idea to keep her, I would think, to keep her close to you in the beginning,
yeah,
because that's a big territory that
Mhm.
you could,
right. So
not necessarily get lost in, because dogs are pretty good directionally, but you might wonder where she is after a day or two.
well, she's pretty amazing at coming when she's called. And I don't know if Andrea whistled, but I whistled to call her,
Mhm.
and comes right away.
Great.
Unless she's digging a hole looking for a gopher. something.
Oh, and
Yesterday,
you don't
I
want
took
to
her-
disturb that.
right, I don't want to disturb that. But I took her down to the goats, and of course they were nervous,
Mm.
but and she was very calm. So I took her in the goat pen and just held her collar, and the goats just kind of settled down, and she just watched them, and then I let her go, and all was well.
And
So I
good.
think knows how to do her job of watching out for the animals.
Nice.
And she didn't chase the chickens either, so it was pretty exciting for me to just
Yeah.
Have your boys met her?
oh yeah, everybody hangs out, we all hang out,
Right.
but she's not going to live at their house. None of us really has room for a big creature in our house. The house is small.
Yeah.
But Carrie and Amanda Grice,
Yeah.
they came with their own dog. Plus Bucket lives over at their house, and they started letting him in the house to sleep on the couch.
Oh,
So they're pretty packed over there. But when I'm gone back to West Virginia, Amanda just said, "Oh yeah, she can come over." But I think she'll probably stay over here. I just think that's probably what.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
when's the next service project, Linda?
You have to read Ashley's letter, or meanwhile back at the ranch. That I'm pretty sure it says at the end, and if it doesn't, we don't have one set up yet.
Did that recently come out?
I think it did. She usually does it once a month.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I think it's a couple
Then
weeks old.
maybe it's not out yet.
Yeah, I think
He's done a lot of
the last one was weeks ago that I saw.
I'll look and see right now.
I wanted to say how cool it was that Jeffrey gave a plug to the TL community service project.
Yeah.
Although I must say I was waiting for him to mention Windermere Group. Although we haven't done anything out there like the group that was writing those letters, so they
and they connected with Heartfelt, so that was that's how it kind of crossed his.
So aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what a great project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, you've certainly done a huge share of putting information together for us to work with. That's going to be exciting.
Well, it is exciting. I am, and I'm just impressed and delighted that the president of the organization got back to me within a couple hours. You know, it's just, yeah, it's exciting. So I'll thank him and say I'll look forward to being notified. He's probably wondering who I am, you know, because I've got I've got two telephone numbers under my name. One says USA and one says France.
Yeah.
You're an international man of mystery. Isn't that how you usually sign your emails?
Right.
Or even an international fundraiser. I mean, you know.
Oh.
Well,
So,
he's probably
yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
he's probably saying, "Oh, great, we'll get somebody from France."
Yeah. Right.
Well,
That's
and they
great.
will. So, Linda, are you still looking for something or not? Or you were looking for something from Ashley?
Oh, I don't find it, so I don't
Okay.
think it's out yet,
It's not out
Okay.
yet. Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I don't know when it will be.
And who
'Cause
bought
we
the
already
cows?
had one this month,
Oh, right.
so
You already had one this month? Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't go because it was TL.
right. So
Yeah.
there's usually one every month. I think that's how they're thinking about it now.
So
Makes sense.
inquiring minds want to know who bought the cows.
So there's somebody that does this workshop called Acorn, and Acorn is, his name is Gabriel Kelly, and his wife Luna, and they do this gathering once a year. They have 360 people coming this year, families and kids, and it's all where people who do early kinds of art or some kind of craft or some kind of building with something like the Native Americans did, this kind of thing, come and learn skills from people who come and present. So, and it's a week, Monday, it started today, Monday through Friday this week. And Gabriel found someone who has made an offer on the cows.
Great.
Yeah. It's really
Cool.
great. Really great.
Mhm.
And does their event have anything to do with the cows? Or it's just that he happened to find somebody?
Does who have anything?
Well,
No, he has
Gabriel,
Gabriel has nothing to do with the cows. He did it as a favor to David
he just
Who's
made a
that?
connection.
because he knows people. He knows people.
Okay. Well, who else does he know, Linda? In
He
what category?
knows everybody.
In what
He grew up
category?
here.
How
Huh?
can we? In what categories, and how can we use them in the future?
Well, he lives now, his family lives in New Zealand. They moved there a year or two ago, but they still come back to do the Acorn. And they're selling their house here. So,
No.
but there are a lot of people that know people.
Mm.
And like last night, David and I went to this presentation on cob houses, which is the mud houses. And there were like my gardening, the guy, Oscar, that teaches the gardening class. Anyway, you just see people you know around. We met people that we didn't know before. And so David and I went, it was a lot of fun. And he met this couple and they have a strawberry, no, they think they have a cob house, which is the one that's all mud. And they have a big place. They have a ranch near us. And the husband is Native American and he's a keto teacher, which David left the keto behind when he came here. He was about to take his black belt test. So he's going to start going up to that.
Cool.
It was a pretty revealing evening last night. And there were several presenters, and one of them was about the research about the effectiveness of cob houses and straw bale houses against fire. And California has had, or actually, I don't know if it's national or just all the states have their codes. And so when houses burnt down, they had to rebuild with the same code that they had before that did not resist fire. So this one group took this, like these walls, these cob clay, dirt, straw walls to this place. I think it was in Texas, and it was blasted with 1800 degree heat, and nothing happened to the wall outside of the wall, which, and I think they were, I don't even know if they were 3 feet thick. They might have only been 2 feet thick. The outside of the walls was cool, 60 degrees after blasting for hours with that temperature.
Wow.
Last night,
And they showed a picture of Altadena, California from space, from a satellite, with every house on fire. And there was a woman at this presentation who had moved out of that community 6 months before, but all of her friends, everybody she knew, all their houses had burnt to the ground. And so as a result of that research done on those kinds of buildings, the code in California was changed that you could build and live in mud houses. And if you look it up, I'll send you a couple of the names of the groups that are doing this kind of teaching how to do it. They are just they can be just very plain, or they can be amazingly creative and beautiful. And there was a video, if I can find a video of the one that was shown, it was just beautiful. So California changed the code. I don't know about the whole country or whatever, but it seems like it's catching on. So this woman that stood up said she felt so overwhelmed by what needed to be done. And the presenter on stage said, you just start somewhere. And then it will grow on its own. He said, we had no idea that we would be teaching around the world based on the work we've done. And his way, their way of doing it was much simpler than the other. And they got some award last night for, I can't remember the name of the group that gives them out, for people who do a sustainability thing over years. You know, it doesn't mean that they're this big, amazing, they're very low, they can be a lot of low key, but that consistency of contribution to the climate, to the earth.
There are people around here who have built straw bale houses.
Yeah.
Pretty nice ones too.
Yeah.
Did anybody mention rammed earth houses?
They talked about that too, but there wasn't a lot of detail about that. Those presenters were not doing that particular thing, Andrew.
Yeah.
They were just hand building, and they were using the dirt from where they were. And then they stucco. And even the floors in some of them are dirt, and then have some kind of natural stucco probably on them. I mean, they're just beautiful, beautiful. And I wanted to go to that presentation because I met the guy who was setting it up at the farmer's market. He had a little booth and he was talking about it. And I came home and said, David, I'm going to this. And he said, I can't go. And then Ashley said, without me even knowing about it, she'd take care of the kids so he could go with me. So we kind of had a mom and son date, which was lovely.
I love it.
Yeah. It was so inspiring. It was so inspiring. And I went because I want to build one.
Sounds like it.
Maybe here.
Why not?
Wow.
Yeah. So
Neat.
where do you get the mud from? I mean, have you got spare
shovel.
A shovel.
with a shovel? So literally digging the earth that's
They
beneath.
built, yeah. I mean, I guess you can bring in more dirt if you need to.
Right.
But what's Windermere made out of?
Dirt, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dirt and rock.
Okay.
And you need water and you need straw.
Well, you've got water there.
Yep. So anyway, this is only
Interesting.
a thought at the moment.
That's fun. That's a fun thought.
Yeah.
Well,
You'll need work parties for that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lots
this
of
was about
shovels.
extended families working together and friends coming, and I mean, profound.
Totally.
But I love how you're going out into the local community, like with your gardening group and that talk that you went to. And
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to get out.
you're building contacts and friends who are learning about Windermere,
Yeah. Right.
which
So, Linda, I think that your enthusiasm for gardening has infected me. So,
Has it? Oh, good, Andrew. Let's hear it.
well, I'm still planning, but I was going to do a permaculture kind of bed, but that would take a long time to get that ready. And then I started thinking, I only want to, garden part-time. I don't want a big patch. And then, then Josette reminded me that I have a bad back and I can't get down on my knees with this new knee. It just doesn't, I get one knee. But
Yeah.
so I decided first I started with the idea of a raised bed. It was originally called French intensive, years ago when I was learning about it from Mother Earth News. You'll remember that.
Yeah.
But, but I can also purchase for fairly little money. I can purchase platforms on legs and
That's-
then and build it up from there. And so I think that's the way I'm going to go. I visited a friend of ours, a Dutch fellow who really, he's about 3 years into his house and garden. And I was really taken by it. He had a Quonset hut hothouse with 2 beds in it. He had about 8 heads of lettuce and 6 of spinach and a few other things. And while we were in there, he sent me home with a bag of salad. He said, I've been having fresh salad all winter.
Yeah.
And it's very inspiring. So I haven't talked about the hothouse part of it yet with Josette. But
Maybe you won't need that because some vegetables grow very nicely in the winter.
well, they are, but not salads so much. Salad, leaf type thing.
Depends on how cold it gets.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
can-
really. It only goes below freezing. Half a dozen nights a year.
Yeah. And then a lot of things will come back up from the roots.
Yeah.
There's a book you might like, Andrew. It's called Square Foot Gardening.
Oh, I saw that online.
Yeah, that has so much information. It's kind of an old book that may have been revised by the author,
Uh-huh.
but it's a beautiful way to do it if you have a certain amount of space, and it tells how to lay it out, what to use for the soil. I mean, you can modify according to what you want to do. But anyway, I bought that book for us up here. So
I'll check it out.
I was quite impressed by it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that we're doing it that way, but in my gardening class, Andrea, the one who gave me the Amika, she's doing one of the raised beds as a square foot gardening. And in the gardening class, because that garden is built on a parking lot, and it's not a cement parking lot, but it was a Chumash sacred area. And so we cannot dig into the ground. So everything is raised beds. And she's one of them as a square foot gardening bed. So yeah, raised bed is a great idea.
Yeah.
And having it high.
Well, exactly.
Good. I can't wait to see how it works.
Yeah. I'll take some pictures as I go along.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
we would like some pictures of your garden.
Okay.
Windermere, just so we see what's there in late March.
Okay. All right.
Kind of, follow along because we have a special interest in this garden.
I know you do. Okay. I'll send you some pictures. So I just want to say one other thing about the next gathering. Joni, sometime halfway in between the last one and the next one, will send out something about how the presentations will work. And it could be just the 5 of us being together. And depending on when yours is, I don't know if I will be in it or not, but just talk about what we're doing. I should be able to be in it.
Yeah.
And, everybody can say, and one of the things that occurs to me is how you feel about it. It's like, to me, that's probably the essence of what service is what it brings to you individually, each one of us individually.
I love that. That makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, it's not about the doing to me. I mean, it can be, but it doesn't, it's from who you are. That being leads doing. And something that happened for me, I'm doing a lot of talking today. Do you mind?
Yes, please. Carry on. Carry on.
So in the ministers' meeting this weekend, yesterday, in the seating meditation, it finally dawned on me. I mean, I do seating, but usually I don't have a picture in mind of what it goes for. And I thought, there were two things. One was seeding for the sale of my farm, or I could call it releasing. So, and the other one was about my spiritual life. And I thought, what if I seed every day and then track what my inner experience is about it?
Mm.
So just, I don't know that I'm not saying we need to do that for this group or anything like that. I'm just saying it's like as a personal awareness, because usually during the seeding meditation, I would put a seed and then I would say, oh yeah, then I'll just say what it's for as the month goes along. Well, that worked maybe a month or so. And then I seeded, but I didn't do anything with it or have any intention. I didn't even have a clue what I wanted the intention to be. So I decided, because part of it could be part of a PT. It's like, what happens if I seed every day and for a specific thing, or like to track what that experience is? Because a PT is just, it's not only writing our experience, but other people who have, the research is just other people have written about that kind of experience that feels aligned to you, that's similar to what you're doing. And if we just do something and track it. I mean, I never like to track, but I got myself a new journal and I just started yesterday.
Well, wonderful.
You go, girl.
Never too late to start.
The
And I'm
journey of
just gonna
1,000
track
miles starts with the first step, right?
That's right. I'm just going to track one thing.
I had my office in disarray and my books in boxes and everything, outside because we were painting and everything. So as I put stuff back, I started collecting my journals, all the ones I had started. They're all about 4 pages of journals. And about 40 pages. I have about 6 of these things. I just came up with one that we all kind of recognize this one, right?
Yeah.
It's a really cool one.
Yeah.
And I had been journaling in it a year ago in January.
Wow.
So I'm inspired also to pay attention to what's so.
Somebody's talking in the background.
Is that you, Matthew?
It is. I'm in a
It's
courtyard
okay.
here. I'm gonna mute.
Oh, you're picking
Oh,
up
no, it's
all
okay.
over.
I thought it was your computer doing it.
No. He's a public kind of a guy.
Well, an affirmation I have for myself for Windermere was I'm celebrating peace, prosperity, and joy. That I've had that, and it's kind of resonating with me. And at the weekend, in fact, I sent it to you. I was at Sung Lee's art studio, and I've been thinking about peace, and prosperity and joy. And in case you haven't seen it already, so this is the thing that came up for me. And these things happen very intuitively. It's just how my heart moves. And so I've got peas, as in peace, and they're in a pot. There are 3 pots here. So those are the green peas. And that is the gold for the prosperity. And this is the joy. And I'm also looking, because I really got the imagination about the golden age and the 4 themes for the golden age, which is joy, humor, and something and laughter and happiness. So those are 4 things. So that was what just came up, and it was just very intuitive.
That's lovely.
I didn't know how to do peace, and I just thought peas. That's fun.
That's great. Reminds me of that bumper sticker that, the world peace, and it's WHIRLED That was from a while ago, not recent.
Well, the reminder
anyway, I love that.
The reminder that Anne sent out with the link today on the lower part of it, she has included that. It's really a fun, creative thing you've got.
And this is the second one. I was using the same colors and the same theme, but it was just a different way of expressing it. So that's the joy, the joy, humor, the 2 words.
Laughter and happiness.
Thank you very much indeed. That's what
Yeah.
those are. And that's the way that came up. And they're on the peas again. And I just like, it's so funny thinking, because peas can be a bit serious, right? Are we?
Right.
And I just think to bring the lightness and the humor into the peas. And this is the gold foundation here. That's the prosperity, which I also associate with Windermere. The prosperity isn't just about money. It's about the water. It's about the earth. It's about the people who are participating. And that's all to me is the abundance, the prosperity, because prosperity is people. Anyway, that's
I have to go. I have to go now. Just give. I
I
needed
think
to.
we're all finished. Thank you, Linda, for your
Thank you
contribution
so
to
much.
this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
Thank
week.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
All
See you
right.
Bless.
Love you. God
Bye.
bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.